cherry. So I hope you guys packed a snack because it's going to be a very busy afternoon here. We're in it for the long haul. I've got tons of stuff that we need to get done. So I just finished doing a video, then I'll post up over the weekend. Got to do a little bit of editing on it, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So be sure to check that out. And honestly, if you haven't seen the podcast yet, that last episode is really getting some good play. It's got a lot of different segments. It's different from being in the grow room. Check it out if you're having some issues, especially with aphids. I covered that. If you're living in an old house, I covered that as well. So be sure to check that out. But I'm just going to get going because I need to keep my hands working. So right now I'm going to be filling this tray out. Let me see if I can twist this down a little bit more so you guys can see. All right. And these pepper packets that I did, they're growing into the paper towel that's inside. So they are peppers that are red, yellow, and orange. So I'm just going to be selecting enough to fill one tray and see how we do. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick some of this rock wall. I need scissors to cut. So this is a different type of rock wall that I just bought on Amazon, and I'm not a big fan of it because it's very woolly and it's hard to maneuver, but I actually think it'll be really good for the pepper plants because those little, I'm gonna put a little light there. How's that? Better? Yeah, that's good. The seed portion, that seed portion is really small, and so are the little seedlings. You'll see them in a minute when I finish working up this tray. So hope you guys are having a really great day. Here in Newport, the weather is kind of, still kind of on the cold side. So hopefully you're somewhere nice and warm and loving life. It's Friday, weekends here. Hope you guys got some great plans. But I have to catch up. It's been a very, very busy week. And I feel like I'm behind. I had to set up Tower 9. That was the video that I just did. That was doing the new tomato plants in that. We filled that all up. Can't wait to post that. That's going to be, here's a little snippet. It's going to be very epic. So we're just going to fill this up. And I'm getting ready because my pepper tower is, it's to the point where I'm not getting a lot of flowers, but there's tons of peppers. And at this point, they're turning from green to orange. Some I think are starting to turn a little bit of yellow, but that would be it on that tower because once it reaches that point, I don't think that it's going to give me another round of flowers unless I really, really prune it back. And honestly, I'm not sure that I really want to do that. I think I want to start fresh. I want to start with these peppers. These were peppers I bought at the store. They're a different variety. They're a little bit bigger, so I'm just curious. So I started them about, I want to say a week ago in those little paper towel things, and I checked them on camera, I think a couple days ago, and they had sprouted and they were growing into the paper towel. So I knew that it was time to go ahead and get them started because it's going to take a little while. Hey guys. Yes. Guess that is to be eaten. Yes, peppers. We're growing peppers. These are where we're going to plant. Right here, I've got more beans. They'll go in the bean tower. And then we're going to be doing some cucumbers. So I hope you guys packed a snack because we're going to be here for a while. Like I said, I've been neglecting this room this week. I did manage to get the water in the towers this morning and do the pH and the nutrients, but that's where I'm kind of like in and out of the room off the camera, which is no fun for you guys. So it's more fun where I'm here and working, getting stuff done and explaining versus schlepping water and cleaning up the floor because it's soaking wet. So Anderson, hi. It's a lot of work. We got tower number 9 all fired up, and I'm psyched to get those tomatoes going and finish out the tower that's full of the tomatoes. And I don't know what I'm going to put in that tomato tower. I haven't really decided. Once I clean it out, when we're done, probably I would say another month or so. Um, and I don't know, maybe like I've got some like really unique squash that I picked up. I'll show you in a minute when my hands are dry. Let me see if I can find them. I bought these seeds. We won't do those. That's watermelon. Watermelon. But I found these. Like, look at that. Like, how cool is that? It's a cucumber, but it's a lemon. And look at it's yellow. It's not green. So it's just super different. Got 2 packs of those. And then I found this. These are all from Botanical Interest. This is a summer squash, but it's round. So I don't know. Why not? Why not try something a little bit different? I love their stuff, by the way. If you haven't seen that video on Botanical Interest on the company, go check it out. Kevin from Epic Gardening went there and actually interviewed the owners. Now, I have a sneaky suspicion that I want to say that he bought the company or bought into it. And the story behind it is I want to say it was a couple, and the way that they store their seeds, right down to their artwork. Um, Thank you. It's amazing to care about. Yes, it's just me. Although I do have a techie that I interviewed, Anderson, the other day. I don't know if you guys are staying up with me, but the seed can's on, guys. I'm doing it. We just have to, it's on order, it's coming to me. But then I had hired this individual from Flint to here on the island because I want to do a variety of cameras. And right now I haven't been able to figure out the whole live thing. Um, it's going to be 3 or 4 cameras around the room that I can be able to move, and I can go from like camera 1, camera 2, camera 3. I don't know what it is, like you're explaining. These are seed pots, and I'm going to be putting some pepper seeds that are in here. They're in here, they sprouted. So we're going to be putting them in just 1 little second. I need 1 more little cube. So yeah, so the individual's name is Nate, and he's wonderful. Like, he's young, and just soak this up a little bit. He's young, and he's got like a degree in cybersecurity. So I'm like, dude, you're hired, like so hired. And he was so nice. Like, everybody on this island is so nice, especially if they grew up here. It's just a different way of living in Newport. All right, Anderson, ready? We're gonna do this. Put this down. All right, so each of these sleeves, one is a yellow pepper, one is red, and one is yellow. Don't ask me which is which, but I know that I separated them. So we'll start with the first pack. So what do we got here? We got 5. All right. So we'll take the first one out. There's so many seeds. So many seeds. Like, literally, they're growing into the paper towel. Like, I have to separate them. Look at, that's what's in there. Isn't that crazy? And that's all from a pepper that I bought at the store. And they put them in a wet paper towel with a Ziploc, and you put them on a warming mat like I have right here, and they will go crazy. They just sprouted. So I'm going to be getting my glasses. Hold on. My goofy glasses, because they're so small. Oops. Okay. So I have to pick them kind of one by one out of the paper towel. And I'm going to go ahead and I need a tool. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of put that down there and see what happens. So these little ones, the rock wall that I'm using only has a room, I think, for 1. Can you see? You see me do this? And they should attach themselves to, just take that off, to the rock wall and start growing. So that's the root right there. And I'm just gently kind of placing it down there, ever so gently, not to break that root. It's oh my God, look at that. It grew into the paper towel. Like, that's a huge root. And again, this has only been about a week or so. So hopefully you guys can see that. All right, so this one was a bigger port, so I can probably dump a bunch in there. and they're going to sprout and they're going to grow, and we're going to grow peppers. He's upside down. Hold on. Normally, I do this stuff on my own by myself, and that's no fun. So I'm glad that I discovered how to come on here live and just show you guys firsthand that how to grow your own food, man. Growing your own food. If anybody's got a tower, hydroponic, aeroponic tower, they're so much fun. Like if you go and you check out my podcast and all my different videos and see, all of my grow room, which we'll go do in a little bit after we do this. But yeah, it's going to be super cool to have that time lapse camera. And wow, these are like in there. There we go. So that I can literally take from the seed, and then the camera will be over this, and I'll be able to take the footage and put it into, my editing app and speed it up for you. So you'll be seeing like a time lapse of like this grow over, say, 4 to 6 weeks, and you'll see it like in a 2 to 3 minute video. I love techie stuff like that. Where's my Anthony? Usually he's around. You there? Say hi if you're there, Anthony. Don't be shy. Don't be shy, friend. So, long haul. Maybe I'll try to put a couple in here. You definitely need this tool to do this, though. Otherwise, it would almost be impossible. You need something sharp. Well, I mean, I guess you could use like the end of a pen or something. I'm going to try to put 2 in here. But again, these are all from a store-bought pepper that I took the seeds after they were cleaned. And I put them in a wet paper towel in between Ziploc bags and put them on my warming mat under the grow lights. And they sprouted these beautiful little roots with cute little green leaves. And soon, in a few weeks, hopefully they'll be a little bit bigger, and they will be off and running to grow into little plants to then grow peppers. I've got a tower full of peppers right now. They're all kind of dwarfed, and right now they're green turning orange, but soon they will be. Some of them will be yellow, because at one point I was like, oh my god, are they ever going to turn? Because I was thinking that I was going to end up with a whole tower of green peppers, and I would be on here going, hey, you guys want some green peppers? Because I hate green peppers. So yeah, no green peppers for this girl. Yuck. I don't know what it is about the red and the yellow and the orange. They taste differently. They're just sweeter. And honestly, they're better for you. If you're into nutrition at all, they've just got a ton of vitamin C. So as we all know, that vitamin C is a go-to. It's an antioxidant. It's very yummy, and just makes you feel really good. So a few more, and then I'm going to switch packets to another one of the peppers, because remember, we've got yellow, red, and orange. So I want a little bit of everything on the tower. No green, though. No green peppers. Yeah. Oh, you don't like peppers, Anderson? Come on. I'll send you all my green ones. Anderson, do you have a tower? After this, you're going to buy one. You should. There you go. Couple more. You don't like peppers. All right. Well, what's your favorite vegetable? I grew some bok choy. That was really good. I've got some watermelon that after this project, we're going to move on to that because, are you ready for this? So I have a watermelon tower. Um, kind of like, yeah. I like hot peppers. I should grow some of those. Um, and the watermelon tower, I've got some flowers and they're mostly female. I don't have any male. And so I need to do some self pollination on these flowers. So I've been using my cucumber tower flower because it looks similar. And I don't know. I think I'm like doing some type of science experiment. So I'm going to end up with watermelon that tastes like cucumbers. I don't know, but I'm really hoping that this tower is going to be giving me. Yeah, I know I love watermelon, especially in the summertime. Um, I'm really, really hoping it's going to throw off some male flowers because I keep using the cucumber flower and I'm going, are they A, are they pollinated in B? You know, what am I doing? I'm doing some type of a cross, um, um, you know, not cross contamination, but cross breeding or some sort. And I'd be ashamed to grow a watermelon. It tastes like a cucumber, but I do like cucumbers too. I have a tower of those as well. All right, a couple more of these guys. That's a big root. Look at that. A little worm. My tomato tower is awesome. They're like teeny tiny cherry tomatoes. They're just the red and the yellow, and they're so sweet. Oh my gosh, so sweet. Like candy. But the problem with tomatoes is if you play sports or like to work out, it's or oh, how about this? If you know who Tom Brady is, it causes if you eat too many of them, it can cause inflammation. And I think I'm going to be done with these, and I'm going to move on to the next one. Causes inflammation. So sometimes if you go to the gym and you have a really hard workout, it will delay that process of healing. Um, so you recognize it. Yeah, it's a tiny. That's why you have the glasses. Um, and that's no fun. Like so Tom Brady had this nutritionist that he worked with, um, and he he was on this. It wasn't keto, but he didn't have like what they call nightshade vegetables. He didn't do tomatoes. He didn't do eggplant. He didn't do any of the colored peppers. He stayed with the greens. I mean, he ate ice cream that was made from avocado. To me, it's like if you're gonna have ice cream. But I get it. Like he was getting the beaten out of him every week, and so he had to recover. Obviously they got a day off after the big game on Sunday, and then you got to get back on the field for practice. So you're still sore. So he went on this diet, and that's how he looked so good, and he still does. He doesn't play for the Patriots anymore. This, the team hasn't been the same. My husband is a diehard, and I'm like, oh, you just need to move on. I've moved on. I moved on years ago. Now I'm at Kansas City. Kansas City, all about Taylor Swift and Kelsey. That will be a wedding if you guys are into that. Um, I don't know. Someone says they're engaged. I don't think so. I saw a picture. I'm like, no. But anyway, so I've moved on to the next pepper. Again, I have a red, a yellow, and an orange. Um, and I'm on to the second bag. I should have labeled them. I didn't. So I'm just kind of guessing, but I know that this is a different color. So, Henderson, where are you from? I miss my mom. But yeah. Um, where are you from? Hopefully the weather. India. Oh, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Is your mom in the States? Talk about hot weather there. Mhm. There's a lot here. Okay, I'm gonna flip this. Turn it around. Oh, really? Cold? Mm, I know. Well, I live right on the water, like, 3 streets, but I had to go up north into Massachusetts yesterday, and it was really warm. It was like for us, it was like 67-ish. But here on the coast, it was so cold, and the fog was crazy. Yeah, I don't. The fog kind of bothers me because then the foghorns turn on here because of the ocean, and it's loud at night, but keeps the boats from crashing into the big bridges. So I guess that's a blessing. Yeah, broken half. So yeah, but Newport here in the summertime is so much fun. Uh, yeah, we're just coming out of winter here, so I'm excited for some warm weather. So I can ride my bike and just be outside, and we're doing some fun stuff this summer. Looking forward to it. I bought so I have this bike that's um, it's like a road bike, but it has like a battery to it too. But you have to pedal. It's not one of those ones that don't pedal. 40. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cold. That's like here. Or yeah, it's been the weather here has been gross. Like it's just cold and it's raw. That's what kills me. It's just really raw. Like once you get cold, you just can't get warm. So, all right, now we're moving on to these bigger seed pots. Gonna really have to stuff those down there. And wow, these are really stuck. Glasses. Sorry, guys. I can't see without my goofy glasses. Oops. What do you like to plant? I'm sure you plant outside. I had someone, I think it was in the post section. She was talking about her watermelon. She was having the same problem. She was getting, I don't know, snake plant. Oh, that's those vertical things. Yeah, those are cool. You can propagate those. You can just take one whole sleeve out, and they will. You can put it into water, and then once it grows a little bit of root, you could stick that right in some soil. Cool. Um, oh yeah, so the woman, I want to say she was from India. She was growing. Maybe it was Thailand. She was growing watermelon. She was having the same problem. She only had um, what do you call it? It was just female, and she didn't have any male. So we were chatting about using the cucumber flower as a base, like trying to get it to, because you have to, if it's indoors, you've got to self pollinate. Like tomatoes, you got to self pollinate. Cucumbers, you got to pollinate. Although I did find a seed packet that, for those of you who don't have the time to do the self pollination, I can say that these guys down here. Let me see if I can find the packet. No, come on, these guys right here. The Space Maester 80, they self pollinate as long as you put a fan on them. So it's such a time saver. So that's one of my projects too. We have a lot to do. We'll see if we get to that. I may have to do that tomorrow because this is taking a lot of time, but it's got to be done because they're growing into the paper towel. I just hope it's worth it. States, Anderson? Almost done. Oh my God, there's so little. There's so little. I'm definitely going to put the camera on these guys. So by the time it comes in a couple weeks, um, it'll be at a good state to put it on there. You don't talk to people too much. Why not? It's fun. I love meeting you guys. You guys are awesome. Like I have so many people now in the community, and I'm so happy. It makes me happy. I started this, basically in December, growing this channel and kind of putting it together because I when I moved here full time on the island, believe it or not, if you go back in my videos, it started with I couldn't find a cucumber, and I came home and I was mad. I was really mad that there was no cucumbers to be found in any of the grocery stores. Um, and I said there's got to be a way to grow cucumbers indoors or do something because like I can't like be driving off the island every 2 seconds for produce. So living on this island, even though it is attached to the mainland by bridges, it's a good, I don't know, 40 minutes to get off to find a grocery store that's halfway decent other than what's here. And you got to really be careful what you buy because a lot of it, you got to check the expirations in the off season because the stuff doesn't get rotated. Mm. Hi, Gloria. Oh my God, you did? So what are you growing? Do you have a variety of stuff? Right now, I don't know if you can see, these are, oh God, they're everywhere. So I took store-bought peppers and I took the yellow, the red, and the orange, and I took the seeds out. So I'm trying a different variety of pepper on the tower, but I started them from the seeds of those peppers. Awesome. That's awesome. You're going to like the video that I'm going to work on this weekend and get it up there. It's about cloning and propagating. And so if you've got tomatoes on your tower, I'm going to show you in this video how to um, take a portion of them and basically clone them. And you don't have to start from seeds because starting tomatoes from seeds is awful. And this is going to be a really great way to expedite starting a new plant. And they took off. So I'll get it up as fast as I can. But I think you can pretty much do everything. But the tomato, I was really impressed as to how it came out. Oh, Anderson, you're so sweet. Thank you. Um, but Gloria, where are you from? These guys are so little. Oh my goodness. All right, so I have 2 more rows. So I'm going to switch to the last packet. And again, I should have labeled them. I didn't, but I just know that they were all, one's red, one's yellow, and one's orange. So the last packet is one of the other colors, and I'll just do a few rows of that. And honestly, I'm not going to save the rest because it's not worth it. I mean, look at this. I mean, I just felt like there were hundreds and hundreds of seeds, and they've all sprouted. Alaska, whoa, that's super cool. How do you deal with the light, like the lack of light in the wintertime? Does that bother you, or do you spend more time under your towers? When I first started this in December, I said to my husband, I said, the more time I spend around the tower lights when they're on, I felt like it was like a happy drug, if that makes sense. Like, because our light is really dim, not as dim as yours, but um, I don't know, like I felt like it wasn't giving me a tan or anything, but um, I felt like I had a little more energy. And I don't know how old you are, but you know, I'm in my 50s, and I just felt like I had just a little more get up and go, and I wasn't craving carbs as much. So I was like, there's something to this. So even my husband comes down and he'll spend some time with the lights. I mean, there's something to it. Good. That's awesome. That's great. So are you harvesting off the towers every day or trying to? That's my goal. Like, I don't want to deal with our grocery stores here on the island. Maybe in the summertime because there's lots of farmers markets here, um, and they seem to have a lot of great stuff. Although they just posted something in Facebook. There's one called Sweet Berries, and it was a family-run business for like 100 years, and I think they sold out to somebody. Hopefully, it's not some money person because it will take the quaintness. They've got blueberry bushes, they've got apple orchards, peaches, and then of course, the variety of like home cooked meals and snacks and goodies. And they, I don't know, I just got a bad feeling that they sold out and it's just not going to be the same, even though they say that, they're going to stay on and you know how that goes. You sell a business and they don't want the owners to run away so that the integrity stays, but we all know what happens. That's great. I got to do some herbs. That's one thing that I haven't been doing. I just have been focused on food, but I think I'm going to do. I might even try a different kind of tower and not the tower gardens. Maybe like a small little tabletop thing that I can yeah, they're aren't they great? I was a little scared though because I was all mine were green and I don't like green peppers. And I was like, oh man, what's gonna happen? But they're now turning, they're turning orange. I actually took two baby orange complete ones that they're like tiny. And the other night I hollowed them out and I made a salad and I took it and I had this like little, it was almost like a cheese spread or something. And I stuffed the pepper with a cheese spread and then kind of stuck it in the corner of the salad. My husband's like, what's that? And then he tried it and he's like, wow, these are really, really good. So I know he's gonna be creative, but they were teeny tiny. But I'm gonna eat them. Just glad they're turning orange. But yeah, so back to the tabletop. So I'm gonna try to do the a smaller version. So I here's a quick little story about mint. So don't ever grow that in the ground because you'll never be able to get rid of it. What do you have to see? I've read now. Oh, jealous. I think that's what one of these packets is red. I love peppers. You can do so much with them. Here's a recipe. So if you like fajitas, take your bell peppers and you slice them up and then you just kind of broil them for a little bit. And then take, like the taco packet that you buy in the store. I take two packets to about a pound and a half of like chicken tenders. And then I put them in a bowl and I put the taco mixture with the tenders, let them marinate for a little bit. Then take the tenders and put them over the peppers and bake them for like, and then put the rest of the juice too. They were marinating. Cook them for like, I don't know, 40, 45 minutes. Oh my God, they're delicious. You don't even need tortillas because the peppers are just so yummy in the taco sauce. Um, you can put like a little sprinkle of cheese on top, but yeah, I love fajitas. I need to grow some like hot peppers too. There's so much I want to grow, so much. I'll get to it. We're doing some stuff in our backyard this year, so that was another reason why I want to do this because I'm like I don't want to wait another summer and not be able to grow. Yeah, I love to cook. Now that like here, like the restaurants to go out in Newport, they're they're, they're really expensive. Because it's a lot of like people from New York that come here. They're very, very expensive. And honestly, not to be a snot, but I think I'm probably a better cook than most of the people that are cooking in the restaurant. So my husband and I end up staying in a lot. So another reason why I'm doing this because I just love really good food. Like I took, all right, so here's another recipe for you. So you probably know what ratatouille is. So I had a summer squash, I had a zucchini, I had the cherry tomatoes in red and yellow. So I cut that all up and then I put it into just a glass bowl, and with a little bit of chicken stock, salt and pepper, and I baked it for a little bit till they were, kind of good to go. Then I drained off a little bit of the chicken stock so it wasn't mushy, and then I sprinkled just a little bit of like Parmesan, Romano, and Asiago on top, and then just baked it. Oh my god, to die for! It was really really good. I mean, but just a scotch cheese because the cheese isn't good for you, but it's good. It's yummy. I will say that. Um, yeah. So I just love coming down here and grabbing stuff off the towers, like the celery. Are you growing any celery yet? Um, if you're not, I'm going to encourage you to, because once you grow celery on your own, it tastes completely different than the grocery stores. It's a slow grower, so it's going to take a minute to be patient. But once you have it your own, it's so good. I made non mayonnaise. I'm not a big fan of mayonnaise. Egg salad the other day. So I just took two hard boiled eggs with like a tablespoon of Dijon and a tablespoon of just like regular yellow mustard, salt and pepper, and then I cut up a couple stalks of celery that I grew it because it's not like the big stalk. It's teeny tiny. It's like real thin, but it's got so much flavor to it. So I dice it real fine, and I mix it in. I actually put a couple capers in there too, and I put it right on top of the bed of greens right from the tower too. So it was just nice to have pretty much everything in that dish with the exception of the capers, in a dish. And even my husband liked it. And he's not a big fan of egg salad, but I thought it was yummy. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Gloria, if you haven't checked out my podcast, you should. Um, I'm doing it live on Wednesdays at 11 Eastern Standard Time, but obviously you can catch the recap if you haven't seen them yet. This week was really good. That was a good one. I did a segment that was kind of near and dear to my heart about, I called it This Old House. So the neighborhood that I live in it's called the Point, and all of the houses here are they're pretty much historical. Mine's not; it's new construction. Well, a house got knocked down to build it, but a lot of them are, they have plaques on the front of them that say like 1840, 1760, and that's when the original structure was built. So there was a comment that came to me that I found, and basically what happened was this woman had two towers in her house, and she was saying that they kept tripping her breaker. And so, obviously, first and foremost, you got to get an electrician in there because you only have two towers and it's not really drawing a whole lot of energy. So I was like, split them up, one an electric cord to another room, and so that you can keep it safe. But the other thing too is, a big thing that I do is I only run my lights from 6 a.m. and I make sure they're off at 9, so that when I go to bed, the only electricity that's running in this room is the pumps. Even like all this stuff is off, and the warming mat that always stays on. But you can't mess around with the electricity. You can't, especially with these older homes, because they just they'll go up like a matchbox, and you just obviously you want to stay safe. And so the other thing that I mentioned was, obviously we have to leave our houses. We can't be around our towers 24/7. What you can do is set up a ring camera. So you literally can just put a ring camera that's motion detected. Um, oh, you saw the recap? Nice, awesome. Um, and you can set up a ring camera so that if something were to move in the room, you'll get notified. And it just, I don't know, it's just safety. So I'm really kind of excited to get these cameras in here that are live, that I can be upstairs or away, or just go for a bike ride. And if I feel like I need to click on something, I can. Because a lot of times, like the squash flowers, man, those things are fast. They open up And if you don't catch them within a couple hours, like they start to close. And I'm like, no, like I can't be down here 24/7. So I can put a cam right on that flower and just kind of click on it from here and there to see whether or not it's, closing, because I'll run downstairs and go pollinate it. But yeah, I had a couple of those happen, and I ended up peeling the flower open and getting in there with like a paintbrush to pollinate it. One of them took, the other one didn't. I was disappointed, but you know, I guess you can't win them all. But um, I'm ready to start turning over the summer squash tower on some of it. I'm going to take out some of the ones that are really really old, the plants, because the leaves just get thick and nasty and super thorny, and they're just not really producing. They grow out, and they give me off like teeny tiny little tiny summer squash, and even if you pollinate them, they don't do anything. Yeah, I'm super psyched. And the guy that I'm working with, his name is Nate from Flint on the island. I had basically offered him a job and said, because he has a degree in cybersecurity. I was like, dude, like we got to work together because our minds just think alike. And he talked about the website. I'm like, I already built it. It's all done. I've everything he was throwing at me. I'm like, I've already done it. So the next step is really just the seed cam is going to be huge, because I'll be able to say, hey, try this seed. And this is how it grew over X amount of weeks. And I'll be able to speed it up into like let's just say it took 4 to 6 weeks to, go from start to finish if it's like a big seed. And then I can put it into like a 3 to 4, maybe even 5 minute video for you guys to go, yeah, that actually works. Um, but yeah, no, I'm all in, and be able to, you guys can click on them and see what's going on. But so I'm going to put a top on these guys and get rid of the goopy glasses. Now we got lots of water in the bottom. And here we go. So I'll put this guy. These are, so I was a little shy on the beans. We put those in the other day. Um, and so I started some more of the beans, and they're kind of coming up right now. I've got everything. I think I planted 2 extra, which is perfect because it looks like maybe that one. No, maybe not. Maybe that's going to come up too. Looks like they're all doing really well. They're so big. Oh my gosh. And they just grow so fast. Crazy. And then what do we got over here? So these are the cucumbers. So I'm going to rip out the I think it's the left side. Yeah, when you look at it, it's the left side of the cucumber tower, because it's those English cucumbers, and I don't, they take too long to grow, and they don't even taste that great. So, are you feeding your starts all over? What do you mean feeding your starts? Oh, you mean the seedlings? I use just basic tap water, if that's what you mean. I don't put any. I used to use water from the towers, and honestly, the seeds on the warming mat at about 94, 96 degrees with these lights. Um, if you watch the podcast, not this week, but the week before, I did this thing at the very end where I talk about, kind of like the future of the towers, and are we too soon? And this particular light, and I didn't realize it until I did the research, is more red, versus our tower lights, which are a little more white. So I really think that there's something to these spider lights, because they just have that red amber look feel to them. And ever since I discovered this set where you can, flip them around here, there, I don't ever have to use the nutrients until I go into the tower. And people go back and forth about, oh, you should only do half, strength nutrients when they first go into the tower. I don't really believe that. I think that you can go ahead, and as long as you stick to that, what is it, 20 ml. I actually do a little bit less than 20. I probably do 15 per gallon. And I just wait. I wait for the plants to kind of talk to me. And if I feel like the leaves aren't doing well, then I kind of cut back. I need to actually get a meter. Like you guys have seen this one. This is the pH one. Like I couldn't live without this guy, because it's just too hard to sit there with that water kit that you get from Tower Garden. But yeah, no, I just use regular old tap water. I got a gallon jug that I lift on the seedlings, and I just lift the tray, and I dump a bunch in there and just make sure that I can see them in the quartz in the very bottom, so the roots will go into them. I don't water from the top. I try to keep the top of the rock wall dry, because I discovered that if you do that, then you're going to cut down on the algae that can grow just from being on the lights. The other trick too, I don't know, I don't think I've done this on camera yet. Let me just show you. So Walmart kids section, like in the craft section, get yourself like a 10 set, 15 set of these, just crazy little kid brushes. But this particular brush is flat. And then I have like a billion of these. So again, I try to do things as organic as possible. I don't like a lot of chemicals. Now this is just that food grade hydrogen peroxide. And sometimes, and who had, trying to think who had a little, was it these guys? Maybe. So what I've learned, this is something I've discovered recently, is I dip my just enough, and then if I start to say, oh yeah, this is the one right here. Let me just turn it. So all I do is I just dip it. I don't even dilute it. I just do full strength, and I go on the top of the rock wall, and I brush it, just brush it. You're not really pushing it in, but what it's doing is the hydrogen peroxide right on top of the algae that's there instantly goes away. You'll actually see it disappear, because it's like a fungus, and it just kills it. So being under these lights as close as they are, it's inevitable that you're going to get it. But if you can stay on top of it with just a little dab of this guy, and just maybe not every day, but if you see it, just go and treat it. The other thing too, like with my watermelon, I don't know what it was with that, man, but the algae just attacked it, and everything I did, it was like I tried this, spraying it, that wasn't working. Um, the only thing that worked was to put the dry rock wall on top, and you can go ahead and check that video out if you haven't seen it. And I just split it. Not only did it give it, support for the bottoms of the stem, it kept it dry, and so you couldn't, yeah, um, and it would just come back. So what I've learned is, every couple of days until the foliage kind of really came in, is I would take those pieces that were around the stem, and I would pull them out and I'd flip them over. Who cares if there was algae on the underneath side, because it's been deprived of light, so it's going to die. And you leave it like that for a couple of days. You flip them over if you start to see it come through. And if it got real bad, I would just take it and throw it away, and and get a new piece. But that worked, like like nothing other. So that in this, if I start to see it come, I just dab it. And so watering from the bottom and a little bit of this when you start to see it, that seems to really help it. And if it gets into the basin of the reservoir of your tower, not the end of the world, because you're going to cycle through it. It's going to evaporate for the most part, and then you break your tower down maybe once or twice a year, depending on what you're growing, what's going on in there, and you'll be able to give it a good cleaning. But I've read some good comments from people where they get this one woman, we covered aphids in the last podcast. I'm sure you saw that. Same thing with spider mites. In the middle of the night, she had it. And let's see, just the pH right now, but I definitely need to get a meter and do a little more research on the ppm. I'm scared, but I need to sit down and be a big girl and do it, because it really does make a difference. But right now I just kind of go on the formula of when I top off the water, I use the Home Depot bucket, and I fill it. Um, so if the reservoir on the flex is half empty, I'll go ahead, and it's basically two, 5 gallon buckets. So I know right there that's half the nutrients. And then I just go ahead and just adjust it, and then I do the pH after. But yeah, I need to put my big girl panties on and buy the PP, and just learn it. Someone said it's not very difficult, and it's just basically when you get the reading, you're moving the decibel over. So I just want to make sure, because when I got started, um, I listened to another creator, and she's like, I don't do any of this stuff. I don't test pH, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, okay. So, I was gullible and thought, I don't need to do that either. And then I started to have a problem. And then I pulled out the pH meter that Tower Gardens had given me. And sure enough, my pH was oh my God, it was like 9. And I don't remember what specific tower it was, but I was like, that's the problem. And so I adjusted it with the pH down. And then ever since then, I was like, well, there's something to this. My water's fine. It's not bad. Um, yeah, I know it scares me too, but I just look at it as it's information. I'll do it for both of us. I will get in there. I will learn it. I'll do a video and keep you posted. I'll definitely put it on the podcast too. But I mean, it's just, I'm not a scientist. I'm just a girl with 9 towers. But yeah, but I want to be successful and I want to bring, my big thing is I want to bring accurate information to people. I just see a bunch of people that just, they want to do their channel, they want to get monetized, and I get it. Hey, Anthony, how are you? It totally, they just want to get monetized, and that's all well and good. But here's the thing: you've got people that are spending a lot of money on these towers and on seedlings and seeds and rock wall and equipment, and their time. Your time is worth something. So here's the thing: like if you're going to do that, you want to maximize the whole reason why you're doing it. You're trying to grow food. You're trying to be healthier. And some of the gurus out there, I'm not going to say they're all bad, but there's a few that I just go. "Mm." And then the kicker is, I'm never going to dox you the person, but the person is, they're on TikTok too. And I saw them promoting this bouncy thing. And I just laughed and go, are you a tower gardener creator or are you promoting a bouncy machine? Those two for me are not, I don't know. I didn't get it. And it just explained, it solidified in my mind that the information that they were giving was, most of it was good, but there was some that was wrong, and I bought into it. And I vow not to do that to my community. I'm here to serve you guys. I want to give you the best information to the best of my ability. And if I do something that's wrong, I'll be the first one to own it. But as I go along and I try things like self-pollinating my watermelons with cucumber flowers because I don't have any male flowers yet. Watermelon tower, I don't know. If it's a cross species, I may end up with a watermelon that tastes like a cucumber. I'll be sure to tell you. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Every day I just kind of go, well, let me try this. I even tried like on the powdery mildew. I've got a little on the strawberry tower. That's because they're so concentrated in there that I got in there with my little sprayer and said it's got to work. So I checked it the other day and it seems like it's decreased a little bit. So we're okay. But so, all right. I think we should move on and do some other fun stuff. What do you guys think? Anthony, thank you for joining me today. I was wondering if you were going to show up. Glad you're here. You missed all my peppers. I took those 3 envelopes that had the peppers in the back on the nursery, the yellow orange, and we planted out a whole tray. So they're here. Hopefully they're gonna grow. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So these guys don't need this, but I'm gonna move these guys over here, move these guys over here, and let's go have some fun. All right, you guys are gonna take a walk with me. All right. So here is I'm going to show you what I mean. Like I've got flowers and I don't have any male, um, like right here. I have a flower that needs to be pollinated, but I don't, it's all female, female. To get I'm going to go do that. So hang tight. And I'm going to go get a cucumber flower. Don't laugh at me, you guys. Come on. I'm doing my best. All right, so here's the flower. This is the cucumber flower. But look, if you guys can see, like this guy right here. Can you see that? I mean, come on. Doesn't that look similar? I mean, I'm looking at insides and I'm going, it's kind of similar to female. So what I've been doing is oh my God, I need my glasses. I've been stripping down the male flower, kind of like this, and getting to the good parts. And there are these little things, and I've been kind of pulling them off because that's what I need. And I dump them in the flour, and then I get rid of this. Hold on, that's got a little green thing on it. I need tweezers. And I just take a little piece of what's the middle part of the cucumber and I kind of mash it down in there into the female. I don't know. Like I think some of the ones that I fertilized earlier, I want to pretend that there's growth. Like I really want to show you guys this. Let me see how I can do this. So here's one that I did the other day, and it looks like the petals are starting to, I don't want to pull it too much, but I'm really hoping you can see my fingers. I feel like that little watermelon, like if it's pollinated, it's going to get a little bit bigger. And I definitely feel like that one's swollen. So I did one over here, and I don't think this one, I don't think that that's pollinated. I could mush that in a little bit more, but I think that one's kind of gone. But I do think that this one got pollinated because it's growing, it's doing something. This is where that wanting wanting it to get bigger. So my brain's like, oh yeah, it's bigger. So I don't understand why it's not giving me any male flowers. I don't get that. So it's disappointing. All right. And then now I want to go play with some covers. Told you it was going to be a long day. All right, come on, come with. All right, remember we planted this out? Bean tower, guys. I know it's similar, Anderson. It's similar. I didn't say it was exact. All right, so I got these on Amazon and they're like a foil. So we're going to move on. I'll keep you posted on the watermelon that potentially will taste like a cucumber. And I want to cover these because I don't want to issue with algae. I don't want to be spraying everything like crazy. And so I'm going to go ahead and I will list this on my site, towergardening.easy.com, and under the nursery components. So I don't want to do the foil side up because I think what's going to happen. So if you are, I don't know how old you guys are, but think back to when we were kids and we went to the beach. And if you were of a certain age that we never even used sunscreen, remember those days? Oil, baby oil and iodine. And we used to lay in the summer and we used to have the record albums like this to get really dark. That was me. Don't do that anymore. But I don't want to do the foil side up because I think what's going to happen is that light is going to reflect it and it might burn the leaf. So I'm going to flip this over and use the dark side. So, all right. So I'm going to put you guys back here just so you can, there we go. Everybody see okay? All right, so I'm going to curl this around. And then I'm just going, yeah, there we go. All right, so let me just bring you guys in a little bit close. So what I'm going to do is just, I went around, made a little like cup almost, and then I put it underneath the lip of the tower. And so we can kind of cover as much rock wall as possible because I can already see these guys starting to green up a little bit over the past week. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I don't know how much these were. I want to say maybe $10. I don't know. I have to look. But I just, damn algae. What are we going to do? You know? There we go. I like the fact that I'll be able to recycle them, that they're not just one offs. They're made of, it looks like some type of like a plastic coated foil. But again, I'm not going to use the foil. All right. And they look kind of pretty too, because they blend in with the net pot. So they're aesthetically pleasing. There. And I'm going to have to get a clip from, actually, you know what? I'm going to do this one. Come on. There you go. All right, recycle in a clip. So I'm going to put this clip down here for this little guy down here. And then just, there we go. Prop him up a little bit. They got a little bit taller this week. So they're starting to get a little, they're almost there, but not quite yet. So I think I want to just give them a little bit of support and we can just remove these later. These are another good find. Again, the white clips in my website under essentials. And you don't want to fasten if you don't have to. I think this one I'll have to just because it's a thin stem. But if it's a thicker stem like the zucchini, summer squash, any of the big seeds, well, this is a big seed, you don't want to fasten it. You don't want to break it. So this one's clipped. That one's okay. That one's okay. I'm okay with that one. And that one already actually came out of the clip, so we're okay with that. You just don't want to lean them too far. Until they grow just a little bit more. Ooh, no. Oh, I just broke that. All right, well, lesson learned. We'll deal with that one later. It just broke in half. Bummer. It happens. We'll clip it. C'est la vie. Oh, there was 2 seeds in that anyway, so now we're just down to 1. All right, so let's get back to the covers. I'm so glad it's Friday. Oh my God. What are you guys doing this weekend? Anything fun? Anthony, you working? So these covers, because they're coated, I think we'll do just fine with getting wet. I don't think that'll be an issue, but I want that one to overlap there. Come on. All right. That's fine. I like it when they do the underneath, they cut it like a cup. Some will do it, some won't. Like that. You guys, when you're working on your towers, how many times have you like hit your head? Like on lights, stumbled over cords. I almost fell on the fan the other day. Thank you, Anderson. Thank you for the emoji. My little buddy. One more. All right, so we're good on covers. Very excited about that. This was a really good find. Anthony, I've got a video that, if you're still with me, that I'm working on. You're going to love it. This is the new tower that I planted out. You'll see it when I post the video in a little bit, maybe like on Saturday. All right, so why don't we go over, I really want to thin out this strawberry tower. So if you haven't seen the podcast, you should, because it was like Fear Factor. I was eating the first strawberries on camera. They were actually really good too. All right, so I need some shears. I'm going to move this chair around and my garbage. I got to get in there and thin some of that stuff out. Long day. All right, you guys ready? All right, hang with me. All right, so this is really jam-packed with strawberries everywhere. But the problem I'm having, and I'm going to go get that spray bottle too, is that there's not a lot of airflow, and I'm starting to get that powdery mildew. I gotta mix. So just hang with me for 1 second, please. I gotta mix just a little more water and hydrogen peroxide because I gotta get in there and spray. Oh, this is gonna go everywhere. To get that down so that the powdery mildew does not attack the strawberries that are growing inside the canopy. We're not going to let that happen. No, we're not. All right, we got our spray bottle. Okay, where to start? A little light over here. So if you can see some of the flowers, like right in here, these are clusters, and these are all pretty much, I need that here, and I'm going to grab glasses too. Clusters of strawberries. And they're beyond the area of the leaves. But in the clusters, I still have some flowers that need to get pollinated. I could spend, I think I've said this before in other lives, hours self-pollinating strawberry flowers. But, you know, the question is I spent, if you've watched my videos, I started these in December and it's April now. And I just got strawberries. So I feel like I've dedicated a lot of time to this tower. And I'm not giving up. I've got strawberries now and I'm eating them. My husband's eating them. So I'm going to continue to pollinate away. If I could release bees for a couple hours and then go back to your hive, I would, just to save me the trouble. But I know I can't do that. But see this runner? See how these, look at that. Those are all strawberries. It's crazy. But they need to be thinned out. So you can see some of the leaves down here in here are yellow. So it's time. It's time to give it a little bit of a haircut on top of pollinating. All I'm doing with the brush with this is just I grab the flower by its head. I'll get a little bit closer. By the head, so underneath it, so it supports. And I just take the paintbrush and I take this little yellow flower, little, I don't know what you want to call them, like they look like yellow pods, and I fold them to the center, which is where the strawberry will grow out of. And you know, you don't have to be super gentle. At the very beginning, I was gentle, but you know, after 2 hours of doing this, I'm just like doing this, trying to be done with it because it's a lot of work. But you know, at the end, you get all these beautiful strawberries that are now hanging, and they're growing. I gave one couple to my husband for his cereal the other morning, and he goes, "This is really little." I go, "It's a strawberry," and he goes, "Will they get bigger?" I'm like, "I don't know, probably." Thank you. Um, and So he was kind of funny about that. I'm like, I don't know. I'm probably maybe a little bit bigger, but I want to pick them before they either get powdery mildew, or I've actually had a couple that got a little mold. So I'm like, I don't want that. That's just a waste of, you know, everything I've been doing. So I just get in here um, and just pollinate, man. Pollinate all these beautiful little flowers. And they just, oh my God, they just pop up. Like, I remember the first one I saw, I was like, no, I have a strawberry flower. And sure enough, then I had two, then I have three, and now it's loaded. But now it's time that I have to thin this out. It was kind of like the tomato tower, kind of like the pepper tower. I got to get in there and just cut away some of the foliage without, stunting it. And so that we can get some air in there. Now, the tops, if you remember, I took that second crop of the strawberries and I planted all up in the baby green section, and they're actually doing quite well. There was a couple that had a little bit of an algae, and I think I had to throw one out, but that's okay. I mean, the rest of them did quite well, so I was happy with that. But yeah, oh my gosh, there's just like loads of flowers, loads and loads and loads. All right, I'm gonna just start trimming. Get rid of the goofy glasses. Let me get in here and just give a shake. And I think I'm gonna start at the top and just kind of get in there, and we could be here for a while, guys. So, as I said in my post, I hope you brought a snack. I wonder if I pull it, if that would be easier. Maybe. I don't know where it came from. I'm probably just gonna cut. Ooh. I thought I threw out a whole runner. Oops, oopsie. Even just a little bit on each plant would be very helpful. I'll probably have to do this in 2 sessions so that I don't cut too much, because sometimes I get carried away when I cut too much. We got to work on the strawberry tower at some point too. Although I discovered a whole cluster of the bigger tomatoes, and I thought I had pulled those all out. So apparently not. I was like, well, they're all green, but that's okay. I'll take it. But I never thought I'd see this day where I'm cutting the foliage back. I never thought I'd see this day. Even that just looks a little bit thinner. All right, let's get in here and go underneath. All right, so let's get the yellows out. Airflow, man. Gotta have it. There's just a whole section of strawberries right there. Can you see some of the yellow? It happens, there people on Facebook groups go crazy going, oh, it's your nutrients. No, it's not. It's just thick in here. Like, this is a bummer. So see, this is exactly what I'm talking about, because this was all jammed in here. So here's a strawberry, but look, let's turn it around. It has mold on it because there's no airflow. It's just too packed in here. So Mama's in here. She's cleaning it up. So we've got tower number 9 fired up. Can't wait to do that video. And I'm really considering Don't call me crazy. It's kind of like potato chips. You can't just have one. I really want another flex. I think I'm good with the home. They're kind of small, and I don't like the basin part of it because it's if you put a trellis on it, it makes it really difficult to uh, put the water in the reservoir. I noticed that the other day. I was like, oh, this is daunting. I have to use a gallon versus the 5 gallon because it doesn't. It goes all over the floor. So I think I'm good with those three, but I really want one more flex, and that would be helpful when I can rotate like the pepper tower or the tomato. I already did that one, but the pepper's going to go soon because there's no more flowers, and I'm just waiting for everything to be mature, and then I can harvest that bad boy, and we're good to go. And then we've got stuff in the nursery that we planted. It's good. So here's a baby strawberry. But you know what? This guy is in here, so I'm going to take him out because he's really, really in here. And I don't want him to get moldy. So I worked too hard for this to get moldy. No. And the tomato tower is still throwing cherry tomatoes at me. I came down this morning and there was like 3 or 4 on the floor. I find that hilarious. I don't know how that happens overnight. I mean, I don't know, they fall off the tower and they hit the floor. They're fine. They don't break or anything or like crack open. But I just find it funny that they just come off the tower on their own. Okay, so here's some powdery mildew right here. I'm just going to get in here and just spray right into that net pot. Yeah, and there's another one. Let me try to, ooh, that's bad. Ooh, that's bad. Yes. Mm. I'm going to have to put the fan on this. It just attacks the bottom, um, by the net pot because there's just nothing. There's no air in there. And so, but there's so many strawberries. It'll be sad when I have to rotate this one, but luckily I've got the top part going. So by the time I have to recycle this one out, I think I'll be okay. And then I should probably plant another tray of strawberries and get those going. Oops. But normally I do this stuff kind of on my own, but I just decided today, I'm like, I'm doing this live. I'm gonna hang out with you guys. Kind of fun. All right, so I've kind of got this whole cluster where it's bad. Better. Ugh. All right, so here's another little area that's turned brown. If my mic turns off, can someone let me know? I'll have to change it out. Because I've been doing this for a while. Another one. Bummer. 2 strawberries, moldy. Ugh. Are we having fun yet? We gotta thin her out. Without pulling the strawberries. That's the key. Like I just want to get rid of some of the foliage, but I don't want to be yanking any of the runners. Has a little bit of a smell too. Another strawberry. See what we got over here. So flip you around a little bit. Mark on this side. All right, a little section in here. Ugh. Like the big leaves. Yeah, they're the ones that are canopying everything. So let's get rid of them. And they snap right off. I don't know what you mean. Oh, okay, good. So as I'm leaning this all out, you can start to see the runners a little bit better. That's the whole purpose. And there's some powdery mildew and it stinks. Gross. You know, and the other thing too is by getting rid of some of the foliage, then the plant can, the individual plants that are on the tower can, you know, focus on growing the berry, not growing the greens. Like that's a whole runner of strawberry right there. How's it looking? From the camera's angle, does it look like a little leaner? It's hard to tell when you're up close. Trying to get the leaves that are brown. So weird. It's just the minute it gets that powdery mildew, man, it does a number. Yeah, there's a whole section right there. Man, not on. Some of the stems are really thick. I didn't anticipate the strawberry stem to be as thick as it is. Yeah, I just really thick. And look at that. That's pretty thick. I feel like the bottom has a little airflow, but not so much this concentrated stuff up here. Let's swivel a little bit. What do we got over here? What's going on? There's a tiny little cluster right there that I think without leaning this out, oh, there was a runner, whoops, you would never see it. It would just get eaten alive. The stuff that's way back is just. Like these guys are, brown back here. Now I know why they call it powdery mildew. Ugh. Just goes everywhere. All right, so let's work down here now. I have to say this was the most interesting and difficult plant to grow. It really gave me a run for my money. From seed to, right at getting in the tower, man. Wow. I want to make sure I'm not pulling any strawberries. But got to get in here, man, and get some of this grossness out. It's too bad it can't stay beautiful forever. I mean, it still is, but you know what I mean? I have to lean it out like I do with the tomatoes. And at one point, the tomato tower I thought was really pretty. I mean, it still is with all the fruit, but again, it's not a house plant. I keep telling myself, not a house plant. It's there for one reason, to provide food. Whole reason I'm doing it. That definitely would do this again. I wish there was a way to grow like other berries, but most of like the blueberries, not strawberries, raspberries, those are all on bushes. So that would be difficult to do indoors on a tower. But as someone mentioned, I'm really thinking about doing some herbs, but I'm going to do it, I think, not on a tower. I think I'm going to do it in like a tabletop hydroponics system. There. A little sticky. I do love mint, but it's just I would never put it on a tower because it's way too aggressive. I mean, I'm scarred from it. I think I told this story earlier where I had a house and the previous owner planted it in just a bed, like a raised bed. And for 15 years, I fought that stupid thing trying to get rid of it. It just was bad news bears. It does not want to leave. It just, the roots go down and across and they're wood. So to try to get rid of them, it was nuts. And it would come up, it would grow in between things. And as I would just try to keep it at bay. That was the best thing I could do. And sometimes I felt like that wasn't even good enough because all summer long I would fight it. But if I did it tabletop, I'd have some nice mint or some basil. I'm not much of a thyme person, but the basil would be nice because you can do a lot with that, with sauces, make pesto. There we go. Open this all up. Some nice strawberries in here that are ripe. I think you know what I'm gonna get those. I'm gonna harvest them because otherwise they're in deep, and they're just gonna get moldy from not pulling them. I've learned, don't wait. Even like on the summer squash, I don't know if you guys know this, but the if you leave them on the vine too long, they get almost like gourdy. So that thick outer skin, and they get very seedy, and they don't taste as good. I still eat them. I don't care, but yeah, they just whoops. You're a goner. They don't taste as good. So I really prefer the when they're a little bit younger, less gourdy. Is that a word? But live and you learn, because these towers, every day, they teach me something new. They really do. And sometimes I got to scratch my head and go, what am I doing? But, I go upstairs into my computer and I go to Dr. Google and I see what's going on and try to fix whatever it is. I was just mentioning to Gloria earlier about I'm going to put my big girl pants on and I've got to really get in there and figure out the, is it ppm, which is the nutrient meter. Yep. Here's a little one. It's ripe. Look at that. It's so cute. It seems like a lot of work for a little bit of food, but I don't know. I enjoy it. I really do. Look at that. These are all clusters. Like, I'm a lucky girl. You're close to Newport. I'll share. All right, let's give a little spin. Oh, see what I mean? Killed by the lights. Right. All right. So we're spinning. Okay, what we got here? All right, let's just turn this just a little bit. You guys are hanging in there. Told you it's going to be a long day. I had plans to go to the gym today, but I think this is going to be my workout, to be honest. I did water this morning, schlepped all kinds of buckets of water, and now this, and then the peppers, and it just was a really big week, and I felt like my room got away from me, and it's calling, saying, prune me, plant me, pick me, harvest me. And then, of course, videos. But I am excited about the cameras. Keep saying that. Oops. Oopsie. What did I just pull? Oh, oh well. I think it will be so cool. I got to figure out the platform situation for the website. So if anybody out there is techie and knows of a platform that I can stream live, like I think they call it an IP or PI camera, let me know. I don't really want to pay for another subscription, so if it's free, it's for me. You know what I mean? I didn't really realize how bad this was. They all have a touch of this mildew stuff. I need to go mix up some more. I mean, you pull the stem and it just, you can smell it. Ugh. We didn't think the bottoms would be that bad, because that's where the airflow would be the most. But you live and you learn, right? At least it's not spider mites or aphids. I will take a little powdery mildew versus bugs. Although I did learn something if you watch the podcast. And I think this would be a better alternative. So if you ever come down and you're inside with the aphids, I don't know if it would work for spider mites. It might. You definitely want to remove any household plants get them out of the room of the towers, because the aphids will sprout in the soil and they'll jump on the towers, because that's where their snacks are. If you know what I mean. There's a whole cluster. Let me just see what's on there. Is there a flower? There is, but you know what? We're going to sacrifice it. Anyway, yeah, and then so you want to clean out your tower. That's the first thing, obviously. Clean it, sterilize it, do whatever you need to do, and then obviously watch my podcast. But you want to plant companion flowers, and what are they? So one of them is rosemary. So I wouldn't put rosemary, and the other one's mint. Again, we just talked about the mint. Don't put that in your tower, but you could do trays of it underneath, like on top of the reservoir, and that potentially would just grow and it would give off that scent, so they would stay away from your plants. The other one is marigolds. So people do this with soil-based gardens. So why wouldn't it work on a tower? Just throw a marigold down here and a marigold over there. Call it a day, and then just keep your eye on it. But everybody says, oh, put this oil on it. That it doesn't work, because they're inside the tower. They're on the tower, inside the tower, they're on the roots, they're everywhere. So the only way to really get rid of them is to take everything out of your tower. I would personally take it outside, and if it is already outside, then disassemble it. I don't believe in that acid soaking thing that people do, but you could definitely do that. And you could definitely do that. And then power wash it. And then I would literally separate all the pieces, and I would let the sun just get to it. And then plant your companion flowers, which is the marigolds and then the mints and things of that nature. And then hopefully you can start over with some fresh seedlings, and hopefully not have that problem again. But I don't think the oils work. I really don't. I think it's just a lot of hoo-ha that people talk about, like, oh, try this, try that. No. I mean, think of having aphids on this. There's so much foliage here that there's no way. It's like the powdery mildew. It's not going to go away. I'm trying to tone it down so that I can let the rest of the strawberries grow. And then eventually I'm going to have to turn this tower over. And then I've got this new set up here, and then I'll replant here. So it's a constant turnover of the crop. But that it is what it is. This is where I was a few weeks ago with the tomatoes and the peppers. I had to do the same thing. It gets so overgrown with the foliage, and the foliage isn't what I want. I want the berries, and I need the plant to go, oh, grow berries. And they're already there, they're pollinated. And so we just need to get them to the point where they're they're producing a little bit, but I want them to produce more, like the cherry tomatoes. When I cut that way back, I got a big shift with the flowers, and then they started to really ripen, and then I got another shift of flowers, and I'm ready to prune it back again to see what will happen there, but not yet. I've got a few other things I need to take care of, so we'll work on that. But this is just big foliage for the plant, for this tower to really generate and give it life. I don't want that. I want berries, and I've got tons of runners and tons of flowers, and I want them to give me what that was. Fruit. I want fruit. I want fruit so I can have it in my cereal. Okay, I have to go mix up some more water and hydrogen peroxide. Stand by. Okay. Hopefully my mic is still working, because we're burning the midnight oil, kids. Let me know when it's not. So I'm just mixing the hydrogen peroxide, which is the food grade, with just regular tap water, nothing special. And I'm just getting in here. Wow, from a distance, from across the room, looking at it, I'm like, wow, it's naked. And I just put it in the spray bottle and missed it. So I just get in here, and when I see it, I just kind of get a little squirt. Just mildew. I get right into the net pot. I spray the whole bottom. And then the moisture actually lets me kind of push down some of the foliage so I can kind of get in there and really focus on pruning some of this stuff. My hands are starting to hurt from pulling this. So I wonder too, by pruning this back, will the energy, obviously we'll focus more on the fruit. Will it produce bigger strawberries? That would be great, to really let that fruit grow. Because right now they're just, they're little, they're bite size. Like there's one in here. The ones that are way in, I'm going to grab them because I don't want them to get moldy. So I'll put them in a salad or something tonight as a treat. Felt like a hairstylist in there, trying to break up, give it a beach wave. All right, so I think we need to swip up this bad guy. Bad boy. I should say, where are we with the lights? I swear, I kill myself on a daily basis with these lights. I had one time, I was doing something on the floor and I went to get stand up and the thing hit the top of my head, like it stuck in my hair. I'm like, oh my God, really? Okay, so we got a, whoops, camera. Took out the camera. All right, come on over here. Let's do this area right here. Okay. Whew. I'm going to try to get to the cucumber plant tomorrow. Again, I keep saying the left-hand side's got to go. And it's the English cucumbers, not my favorite. They take too long to grow, and they're not as flavorful as the other ones that I've been growing that are on the right side. Those are delish. And they grow super fast. Those are the Space 80. They're in my post. If you go deep down in the post section, that's where the link is. My botanical. I can't wait to do that video on the new tomato tower. It's gonna be great. Put that together tomorrow morning. It's not long. It's not like long like the lives. But I think it's maybe 20 minutes. Maybe a little less after I edit. See how I'm just grabbing kind of a bunch and I'm making sure that there's no flowers or strawberries attached, and I'm just kind of giving it a good old, see there's strawberries attached to that one. The underneath. Hey, what do you guys think of that? Those bare root companies. Does anybody like those? I've yet to try them because I just do my own seedlings, but um, I see so many people do the bare roots for the strawberries, and they initially, when they first get them, they look really good, but then after a while, they have immediate issues. They start growing strawberries, but then the foliage goes down hard, like it just turns brown, black, all kinds of crazy colors. I just say grow your own. Save yourself the trouble and the money. They can't be cheap. It's got to be expensive. Mm. I'm glad you guys are around today. Checking in, listening, watching. It's boring doing it by myself. For the longest time, I was so afraid to go on live. I'm like, I know I don't want to, but now it's kind of fun. I'm making friends. God, the foliage is really thick on this one. No powdery mildew though, thank God. Down here, there's just a lot of dead. Mm. Runner, but I think it's dead. I'm just gonna. Are they? Yep. Yep. Okay. So it's a little bit leaner. What do we got going on back here? Let me go around. Hard to see it like when you're up close and personal. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely leaner. Like these guys. Yeah, now you can really see the flowers. Like all the clusters that are like, can you see my hand? They're over in here, like lots and lots of clusters that are just all berries. I could probably thin out a little bit more up here. I have this cut on my hand. Oh, stinging every time I do this. Yeah, I think it looks much better. Okay. All right. Wow, what a mess that is. And the pepper tower, and the tomato tower. We got a lot of work over here. So, I mean, I only got to scratch on the surface today as to what I really wanted to do. But it's just getting kind of late. Give you guys a little tour here. And I think maybe tomorrow we could do this again and get some stuff done. But I mean, there's tons of blooms I need to groom off of this, but it's getting lacy here on the Eastern Standard Time. So you know what I'll do is, you guys have been great. You've been wonderful. Love my community. I'm gonna go work on that video and see if I can't get that posted tonight or first thing in the morning. But thank you. We got a lot done. A lot. You know, we got a whole tray of peppers. Hopefully they're germinated. We did leaned out the strawberry tower. That was a lot of work. And just we got the covers here, some pollination, and just tons here. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. You guys have a great day. Anthony, Anderson, uh, everybody that chimed in. Gloria, thank you so much. It was really nice talking to you guys. And we'll definitely do this. We'll hop in tomorrow and try to